Have you ever savored a crisp, colorful vegetable, convinced it's the ultimate healthy choice, only to feel unexpectedly bloated, tired, or unwell afterward? Vegetables are often celebrated as nature's bounty, packed with nutrients, fiber, and flavor. But as we age, some of these everyday staples can turn against us, spiking blood sugar, taxing our kidneys, or clashing with medications. Hi, my friends. Today we're uncovering 8 dangerous vegetables seniors should steer clear of, plus safe, delicious alternatives to keep you thriving. Stick around until the end, because knowing just one of these could save you from a health scare you never saw coming. Before we begin, I'd appreciate your support. If you like this video, you can help me continue to spread these old age lessons. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you enjoy this, please comment number 1 below. If you don't, comment number 0 to let me know how I can improve. Now, let's get started. 1. Beets, the silent kidney threat. Beets, with their striking ruby red flesh and subtle earthy sweetness, have earned a glowing reputation as a nutritional powerhouse. You'll spot them at farmers markets, nestled between kale and heirloom tomatoes, or find them roasted into gourmet salads, blended into vibrant smoothies, or even baked into trendy beet brownies. Health enthusiasts rave about their antioxidant content, thanks to betalains, the pigments behind their vivid hue, and their supposed ability to detoxify the liver and boost stamina. They're a darling of wellness blogs and Instagram foodies alike. But for seniors over 60, this celebrated root vegetable harbors a hidden menace that strikes at one of the body's most vulnerable systems: the kidneys. As we age, our kidneys, those tireless filters of blood and waste, begin to lose their youthful vigor. By the time you hit your 60s, their filtration rate can drop by as much as 30 to 50%, a natural decline that often goes unnoticed until trouble brews. Beets, for all their virtues, are packed with oxalates, natural compounds found in many plants that, in moderation, pose little threat. But in excess, oxalates have a dark side. They can bind with calcium in the urinary tract, crystallizing into jagged, painful kidney stones. For seniors with even mild undiagnosed kidney impairment, a condition affecting over 37 million Americans, many unaware, these stones can silently accumulate, leading to sharp pain, swelling, urinary infections, or even long-term damage. Consider Susan, a spry 70-year-old retiree with a passion for healthy living. Inspired by a friend's glowing review, she started her mornings with a tall glass of fresh beet juice, convinced it was the key to vitality. For months, she sipped away, oblivious to the oxalate overload building in her system. Then came the day she doubled over in agony, rushing to the ER where doctors discovered a kidney stone the size of a marble, an unwelcome souvenir from her superfood obsession. Her story isn't rare. Studies suggest that high oxalate foods like beets, spinach, and rhubarb contribute to kidney stone formation in up to 80% of cases, with risks climbing as kidney function wanes with age. The good news? You don't have to sacrifice flavor or color on your plate. Swap beets for roasted carrots, a kidney-friendly alternative that delivers a similar sweet, earthy taste and a cheerful orange glow. Carrots are low in oxalates, rich in beta-carotene for eye health, and gentle on aging digestion. Toss them with olive oil and rosemary, roast until caramelized, and enjoy a guilt-free treat that won't leave your kidneys reeling. 2. Corn, the blood sugar spike. Corn is the golden child of summer dining, evoking memories of backyard barbecues and county fairs. Picture it, husks peeled back to reveal plump, sunshine yellow kernels, grilled to smoky perfection, slathered in butter, or scooped into a bowl of creamy succotash. Its natural sweetness and satisfying crunch make it a beloved staple across generations. Yet, for seniors over 60, this nostalgic favorite can turn into a stealthy saboteur, wreaking havoc on blood sugar stability and even posing physical risks as swallowing reflexes slow with age. The trouble starts with corn's high glycemic index, GI, a measure of how quickly a food raises blood glucose levels. With a GI hovering around 52 to 70 depending on preparation, higher for processed forms like cornmeal or popcorn, corn delivers a rapid sugar spike that can overwhelm an aging metabolism. As we get older, our bodies often grow less efficient at producing or responding to insulin, the hormone that keeps blood sugar in check. Insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes, creeps in silently for many seniors, affecting over 25% of those over 65. A single ear of corn, clocking in at roughly 20 grams of carbohydrates, can send blood sugar soaring, leaving you with a wave of fatigue, dizziness, or brain fog hours later, a roller coaster no one wants to ride. Take Tom, a 68-year-old grandfather who prided himself on small health victories. Determined to ditch his salty chip habit, he turned to corn on the cob as a wholesome snack. Weeks later, he couldn't shake a nagging sluggishness that shadowed his days. A routine checkup revealed the culprit. His pre-diabetes, unnoticed until then, was flaring up with every buttery bite. Corn's hidden sugars were pushing his system past its limits. And that's not the only concern. As we age, the muscles involved in swallowing weaken, a condition called presbyophagia, making corn's tough, fibrous kernels a potential choking hazard. For seniors with dentures or dry mouth, common with medications, those stubborn bits can lodge in the throat, turning a simple meal into a frightening ordeal. Fortunately, there's a smarter swap: zucchini. This versatile summer squash mimics corn's grillable texture and mild flavor, but with a fraction of the carbs, only about 4 grams per cup, and a low GI that keeps blood sugar steady. Slice it lengthwise, brush it with olive oil, and toss it on the grill for a tender, juicy bite that's easy to chew and swallow. Add a sprinkle of sea salt or a dash of Parmesan, and you've got a dish that satisfies without the risks. For seniors looking to savor summer without the spike, zucchini is a quiet hero worth keeping on the menu. 3. Tomatoes, the acid reflux trigger. Tomatoes hold an almost sacred place in the culinary world, their ruby red flesh a symbol of freshness and flavor. They shine in countless dishes, thinly sliced atop a summer salad with a drizzle of olive oil, caramelized in a slow-roasted medley with herbs, or cooked down into a simmering pot of marinara sauce that fills the kitchen with an irresistible aroma. For generations, they've been a go-to ingredient, bridging cuisines and seasons with their juicy versatility. Yet, for older adults, this kitchen hero can morph into an unexpected adversary, its virtues overshadowed by a troublesome trait: acidity. Tomatoes owe their tangy bite to a cocktail of natural acids: citric, malic, and ascorbic. Compounds that, while delightful to the palate, can wreak havoc on an aging digestive system. As we grow older, the lower esophageal sphincter, a ring of muscle tasked with sealing off the stomach from the esophagus, loses its youthful vigor. This weakening creates an open invitation for stomach acid to splash upward, and tomatoes, with their pH hovering around 4.3 to 4.9, act as a catalyst, intensifying the burn of gastroesophageal reflux disease, or GERD. Consider Margaret, a 73-year-old grandmother with a lifelong love for Italian cooking. For years, her evenings ended with a plate of spaghetti smothered in her signature tomato sauce, a recipe handed down from her mother. But as she entered her 70s, those cherished meals began to betray her. Night after night, she found herself propped up on pillows, battling a searing sensation in her chest that robbed her of sleep and left her bleary-eyed by morning. It wasn't until a doctor's visit, and a heart-to-heart with her daughter, convinced her to cut back on tomatoes that relief finally came. By swapping her sauce-heavy suppers for lighter, tomato-free alternatives, Margaret rediscovered restful nights, her heartburn a fading memory. Her story isn't unique. Countless seniors wrestle with this same acidic foe, often unaware that their dietary darling is the culprit. The trouble with tomatoes extends beyond the gut. Aging brings a natural decline in oral health, thinning enamel, receding gums, and reduced saliva flow, and the fruit's acidity can accelerate these woes. Enamel, the hard outer layer of teeth, wears down over decades of chewing and sipping, and in older adults, its regeneration slows. Frequent exposure to acidic foods like tomatoes acts like a slow acid bath, eroding this protective shield and leaving teeth prone to sensitivity, cavities, or even cracks. Dental professionals often see this in patients who lean heavily on tomato-based diets, soups, salsas, or even raw wedges, without realizing the cumulative toll. Margaret noticed this too. Her dentist flagged early enamel wear during a routine checkup, linking it to her tomato habit. Thankfully, there's a vibrant alternative that sidesteps these pitfalls: red bell peppers. These glossy, sweet cousins to tomatoes bring a similar pop of color and a satisfying crunch to dishes, whether raw in a salad, sautéed with onions, or roasted until their sugars deepen into a mellow richness. Packed with vitamins A and C, essential for maintaining sharp vision and a robust immune system as we age, they offer nutritional heft without the acidic sting. Their pH, closer to neutral, spares both the esophagus and enamel, making them a gentle yet flavorful stand-in. Margaret now blends roasted red peppers into a velvety sauce for her pasta, savoring the taste of home without the aftermath. It's a small shift with a big payoff, proving that aging doesn't mean abandoning flavor, just rethinking its source. 4. Potatoes, the hidden carb bomb. Potatoes are the undisputed monarchs of comfort food, their earthy simplicity a canvas for culinary creativity. Picture them mashed into a cloud of buttery smoothness, fried into crisp golden fries that crunch with every bite, or baked whole, their skins splitting to reveal a steaming, fluffy interior begging for a dollop of sour cream. They're the stuff of childhood memories. Think of holiday feasts with gravy-drenched spuds or late-night diner plates piled high with hash browns. Yet, beneath their wholesome exterior lies a nutritional challenge that grows more perilous with age. Potatoes are a starchy carbohydrate juggernaut, delivering a hefty dose of calories and a rapid spike in blood sugar that can catch slowing metabolisms off guard. A medium potato, weighing about 5 ounces, carries roughly 150 calories before you even factor in the butter, oil, or cheese that often tag along. For older adults, whose metabolic rates dwindle as muscle mass fades and activity levels dip, this caloric wallop can quietly accumulate into unwanted weight, pressing down on joints already weathered by decades of use. Robert, a 75-year-old retiree and former truck driver, learned this the hard way. A daily ritual of French fries, crisp, salty, and paired with his evening sandwich, had been his comfort after long years on the road. But over 12 months, those fries added 10 stubborn pounds to his frame. The extra weight settled into his knees, turning his once pleasant strolls through his backyard garden into a painful shuffle. His doctor confirmed what he hadn't suspected. Potatoes' high glycemic index, often above 80, depending on preparation, sent his blood sugar soaring, encouraging fat storage and stressing his aging joints. Studies back this up. Foods that spike glucose quickly, like potatoes, are linked to weight gain and inflammation, both of which hit seniors harder as their bodies lose resilience. Robert's knees, already arthritic, groaned under the strain, cutting short his time tending the roses he'd nurtured for years. The potatoes' risks don't stop at carbs. They're also a potassium powerhouse, packing about 900 milligrams per medium spud, more than a banana. While potassium is a hero for regulating blood pressure and muscle function, aging kidneys often struggle to filter it efficiently. For seniors with chronic kidney disease, a condition affecting over 30% of those over 70, too much potassium can build up in the blood, potentially triggering heart rhythm issues or fatigue. Add to that the sodium and trans fats in processed potato dishes, think fries, chips, or scallop casseroles, and you've got a recipe for cardiovascular strain, a serious concern for older hearts. Robert's blood work hinted at this too. His potassium levels crept upward, prompting a dietary rethink. Enter cauliflower, the unassuming hero of low-carb cuisine. This cruciferous wonder mimics potatoes' versatility with uncanny precision. Steam it and mash it with a swirl of olive oil and a pinch of garlic, and you've got a creamy side that rivals the richest mashed spuds. Roast it with spices, and it crisps up like home fries, minus the grease. A cup of cauliflower clocks in at just 25 calories and 5 grams of carbs, dwarfing the potato's heft, while delivering fiber to soothe aging digestive tracts and antioxidants to combat inflammation. For Robert, the switch was a revelation. He traded his fries for roasted cauliflower florets, shedding those 10 pounds over months and easing the ache in his knees. His garden beckoned again, and with it came a renewed sense of vitality. Cauliflower doesn't just replace potatoes, it redefines comfort, proving that health and flavor can coexist, even as the years pile on. 5. Cucumbers, the fluid balance wild card. Cucumbers often appear as the unassuming heroes of the vegetable world, cool to the touch, refreshingly crisp, and celebrated for their hydrating properties. With a water content hovering around 95%, they're a go-to for anyone looking to beat the heat or add a light, low-calorie crunch to their diet. But for seniors, especially those with underlying heart or kidney conditions, this seemingly innocent veggie can turn into a double-edged sword. The high water content, while beneficial in moderation, can tip the scales toward fluid overload in bodies that struggle to process excess liquid efficiently. For someone with compromised heart function or diminished kidney filtration, that extra hydration can lead to edema, swelling in the legs, ankles, or even the lungs, manifesting as puffiness, discomfort, or shortness of breath. Take Betty, a 78-year-old retiree with a mild heart condition, as an example. She'd heard cucumbers were a simple way to stay cool and hydrated during sticky summer months, so she made them a daily ritual. Sliced into salads, blended into chilled soups, or just munched straight from the fridge. At first, she felt refreshed, but within weeks, She noticed her ankles swelling up like balloons, her socks leaving deep imprints by evening. Her doctor explained that her heart, already working overtime, couldn't keep up with the fluid her kidneys weren't expelling fast enough. The result? Increased strain on her cardiovascular system, a subtle but real risk she hadn't anticipated from something as harmless as a cucumber. Timing amplifies the issue. Eating them late in the day, when the body's metabolism slows and fluid retention peaks, can make matters worse, turning a healthy snack into an overnight burden. The fix isn't to ban cucumbers entirely, but to approach them with caution and consider alternatives. Celery, for instance, offers a satisfying crunch with a lower water content, around 95% but less voluminous per serving, and brings its perks. It's rich in potassium and compounds like phthalides, which may help relax blood vessels and lower blood pressure, a bonus for seniors looking to support their heart without the fluid gamble. Slice it up, dip it in hummus, or toss it into a stir-fry for a crisp, guilt-free bite that won't leave you swollen by morning. 6. Spinach, the medication meddler. Spinach has long been crowned a nutritional superstar, its deep green leaves promising a bounty of iron, antioxidants, and vitality. Popeye swore by it, and health gurus tout it as a must-have for everything from stronger bones to sharper minds. But for seniors or anyone on certain medications, this leafy darling can stir up trouble beneath its wholesome facade. The primary culprit? Vitamin K, a nutrient spinach delivers in spades. 1 cup cooked can pack over 800 micrograms, far exceeding the daily need. For those taking blood thinners like warfarin, which rely on consistent vitamin K levels to prevent clots, a sudden spinach binge can throw the balance off kilter, thickening blood and raising the risk of dangerous blockages. Consider Helen, a 71-year-old grandmother who prided herself on her daily spinach salads, loaded with walnuts and a drizzle of olive oil. She'd been on warfarin for years to manage a heart arrhythmia, but lately she'd noticed mysterious bruises blooming across her arms and legs, dark, stubborn patches that hinted at trouble. A visit to her doctor revealed the spinach was quietly sabotaging her medication's effectiveness, her vitamin K intake fluctuating wildly with every bowl. The irony? Her quest for health had nudged her closer to risk. And that's not the only catch. Spinach is also packed with oxalates, compounds that, in excess, can bind with calcium in the kidneys, forming painful stones. For seniors already prone to kidney issues, it's another strike against piling on the greens unchecked. The good news is you don't have to ditch leafy greens altogether. Just pivot to a safer player. Arugula steps up as a stellar substitute, its peppery bite delivering a punch of flavor alongside vitamins A and C, plus a modest dose of calcium and folate. Crucially, it's lower in vitamin K, about 20 micrograms per cup, a fraction of spinach's load, and oxalates, making it a friendlier match for blood thinners and kidney health. Toss it into salads, layer it on sandwiches, or wilt it lightly with garlic for a nutrient-rich option that won't meddle with your meds or leave you nursing bruises, or worse. Helen's now an arugula convert, and her arms are finally blemish-free. 7. Sweet potatoes, the potassium overload. Sweet potatoes often masquerade as the ultimate health food, a vibrant orange beacon of nutrition, packed with fiber, vitamins, and a naturally sweet flavor that feels like a guilt-free indulgence. They're a staple in countless superfood lists, celebrated for their beta-carotene and antioxidants. But beneath this wholesome facade lies a potential hazard for aging bodies, an overwhelming potassium punch. A single medium sweet potato can deliver over 400 milligrams of potassium, sometimes closer to 500 depending on size and preparation. For younger, robust kidneys, this is a boon, supporting muscle function and nerve health. But for those over 60, where renal efficiency often wanes, this potassium load can tip the scales toward hyperkalemia, a condition where blood potassium levels spike dangerously high. Take James, a 74-year-old retiree with a penchant for routine. He'd read about sweet potatoes' benefits and committed to eating 2 servings daily, baked at lunch, mashed at dinner. Within weeks, he noticed his heart racing irregularly, a fluttering he dismissed as fatigue until a dizzy spell landed him in the ER. Blood tests revealed elevated potassium levels, teetering on the edge of arrhythmia. His doctor traced it back to those innocent tubers, a near miss that could have been fatal if unchecked. Beyond potassium, sweet potatoes' natural sugars, around 6 grams per serving, can also pose a challenge. For those with insulin resistance or diabetes, that glucose bump can disrupt carefully managed blood sugar, especially when paired with their starchy carbs. The good news? You don't have to sacrifice sweetness or nutrition. Enter parsnips, the underappreciated root vegetable with a subtle, earthy sweetness reminiscent of carrots. With roughly half the potassium of sweet potatoes, about 250 milligrams per serving, and a gentler glycemic impact, they're a safer bet for aging systems. Roast them with a drizzle of olive oil, and you've got a fiber-rich side that delivers steady energy without taxing your kidneys or spiking your glucose. James swapped in parsnips and hasn't looked back. His heart and his doctor approve. 8. Bell peppers, the digestive disruptor. Bell peppers bring a burst of color and crunch to any plate. Red, yellow, green, or orange, they're a visual and culinary delight. Packed with vitamin C and antioxidants, they seem like an easy win for health-conscious eaters. But for aging digestive systems, these vibrant veggies can turn from ally to adversary. The trouble starts with their tough, waxy skins, which resist breaking down even after cooking. For guts already slowed by age or weakened by conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, this indigestible armor can linger, fermenting in the intestines and triggering bloating, gas, or sharp cramps. Add in their natural sugars, about 4 to 6 grams per pepper, and their fiber load, and you've got a recipe for discomfort in sensitive stomachs. Consider Linda, a 68-year-old grandmother who loved tossing diced bell peppers into her stir-fries. She'd soldier through the post-meal bloating, chalking it up to eating too fast, until a nutritionist pointed out the culprit. For diabetics, the stakes are higher. Those carbs, around 9 grams per large pepper, can nudge blood sugar upward, especially in the sweeter red and yellow varieties. Raw, roasted, or sautéed, bell peppers don't discriminate. They'll challenge digestion and glucose control alike. Nightshade sensitivities, common in arthritis sufferers, can also flare up with peppers, adding joint pain to the mix for some unlucky eaters. But you don't have to abandon flavor or nutrition. Swap in cantaloupe, a surprising yet gentle alternative. This juicy melon offers a refreshing sweetness, about 13 grams of natural sugar per cup, without the fibrous fight of pepper's skins. Its soft flesh is a breeze for aging stomachs to handle, and its lower fiber content, 1.4 grams per serving, avoids overwhelming sluggish digestion. Rich in vitamin A and hydration-boosting water, cantaloupe delivers a mild, summery lift without the bloating or blood sugar roller coaster. Linda now enjoys it diced in salads or as a cool snack. Her gut and her peace of mind thank her for it. Well, there you have it. 8 vegetables that might seem harmless but could be quietly impacting your health as you age, along with some tasty, safer swaps to keep you feeling your best. Aging well isn't about giving up what you love. It's about making smarter choices that support your body's changing needs. So, what have you learned so far? I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with one thing you've learned today and plan to put into practice in your own life. Maybe it's swapping beets for carrots to protect your kidneys, or cutting back on potatoes to steady your energy. Let's inspire each other. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips to live healthier and stronger. Thanks for watching. Here's to thriving at every age.